G'day, mates. G'day, mates. G'day, mates.
G'day mates, I'm Flinty, and this week I'll bring to you 10 facts that you didn't even know about the 1980 masterpiece, The Shining. So let's take a look and see what facts we can find out about it that you didn't even know. Fact number 1. As we know, very good actor Jack Nicholson plays the role of Jack Torrance in the movie, just like he plays the character of Jack Napier in Batman and Jack Montglutslug in The Witches of Eastwick. He actually charges $1 million extra if the role needs him to not be called Jack. But did you know that he wasn't the only actor to be considered for the role? Other actors in contention were Richard Gere, Corey Feldman, and that man from James Bond. Fact number 2 about The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's Shining movie. If you watch the movie so carefully, you might notice that there's no imagery of Saturn at all in the film. As you know, Saturn is the Roman god of time, indicating very clearly that time itself has no meaning in the movie. On to fact number 3. The story of The Shining shows that there's only the Torrance family staying at the hotel over the winter months, totaling 3 people staying there, and yet production notes indicate pretty conclusively that also at the hotel, as well as the 3 Torrances, was Stanley Kubrik, who is directing the movie, alongside several producers, cameramen, caterers and dozens of assistants. Obviously the meaning of the word alone is lost on some people. On to fact number 4 about The Shining. As you may know, the location in The Shining is the famed Overlook Hotel, which is where the story is in the film, but when the script was being written, it could have been a bit different. The initial idea was to be about the Torrance family looking after a small cafe in London for their cousins over the winter months, but this idea wasn't even used. The location shown in The Shining is the famed Overlook Hotel, which is where the story is in the film. Fact number 5 that you didn't even know. Just as the movie went into production, Stephen King called Stanley Kubrick with an emergency. He had additions to the original story that needed to be incorporated into the film. 2 new characters were to be included, one simply described as the strange boomerang lad, and the other described as a mud Martian. Stanley Kubrick famously told Stephen King to shove his stupid new characters, and he completed the movie without them. This is why Stephen King doesn't like the finished product of 1980's movie, The Shining. Fact number 6 about The Shining. The hotel used in the movie to film the scenes is the Ahwahnee Hotel in California. This hotel also doubled as a church for a local cult known as the Lord's Bastards. Each day at 10 a.m. until 2 p.m, the hotel was filled with locals wailing to their fictitious god. That's why filming would stop for 4 hours every day, although in some cases the crew worked around the worshippers. You can hear their ominous chanting in the background in a couple of the very good scenes. On to fact 7 about The Shining that you didn't even know. Actress Shelley Duvall is well known for her putrid bed sheets. She became attached to them as a child and refuses to sleep on anything else. When the production began, the other actors noticed the disturbing smell on the film set. It was Shelley, of course, who carries with her the disgusting stink from lying on these rancid bedsheets each and every night. Originally white, the sheets are now a dark brown with 30 years of sweat and secretions.
8.
Fact number 8. Filming was brought to a complete halt for 3 days when a flood poured in from the ocean. No one is sure how the flood got there because the hotel is hundreds of miles from the coast and up on a mountain, but it happened nonetheless. Fact number 9. This one's a scary one, don't you be too afraid. The finished movie has a soundtrack featuring some classical music scored from across the years, but originally a rock band was put together to make the film's music. The band would have included rock and roll legends Meat Loaf, Marky Ramone, Bob Geldof and some old twat.
10.
And finally, fact number 10 about The Shining that you didn't even know. Now, most people consider Stanley Kubrik's The Shining to be a little bit too highbrow for them, and they just don't understand a very good ending. What actually happens is that Jack chases the characters around, first from some building and then into some maze, whereby he runs around a bit. In a corridor, there's some photograph with people on it. That's what happens at the end of The Shining. Well, that's about all I have for The Shining for this week. Thanks ever so much for checking out my facts about this that you didn't even know. You're probably going to go away from this video knowing just a little bit more about the film The Shining than you did before. Probably about 10 things more. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button below. Come back next week, see what else we can dig up about something or other. I don't know what it'll be yet, but I'm sure something will happen. Okay, take care guys, all the best.